video, and today I am talking about DraftKings NFL Week 3, how I am going to be playing it. And I'm just going to give you some of my favorite plays on the week. First one being a guy named N'Keal Harry at 4,200 with the amount of targets he's been seeing. I think he's much too cheap, seeing 18 targets in his first 2 weeks. Now, do I think he's going to be in that 12 target range every week? No. Does he have to be to hit value at 4,200? Definitely not. I think he's going to be in that 5 to 8 target range, and I think if he gets into that 5 to 8 target range, he's going to hit value. But if he hits a ceiling with 12 targets and comes down with 8 or 9 of them, he's going to absolutely smash value. I think this is a massive misprice for the amount of targets he's been seeing in these first 2 weeks. And a lot of people have gotten burnt by N'Keal Harry, but I think this offense is very different. I think Cam Newton likes to throw to bigger receivers. So N'Keal Harry at 4,200. Much too cheap in my opinion. I think he's going to open up a lot against this Las Vegas team. So I'm going to go ahead and play N'Keal Harry. And then I'm going to go with the chalk. I'm going to play Jerick McKinnon, another good sub-5 value play on the slate, with Mostert out and Coleman out. A very common theme that I like to play with on DraftKings is taking advantage of injury, misprice. DraftKings does not do a good job of adjusting the prices when injury happens. McKinnon priced at 4.9 is a price tag that you should see when Mostert is there. He is now out. McKinnon in that lead back role is going to see a plethora of touches, and I think he's going to crush 4.9. So those are my two value plays, which opens up a wide range of things. If you want to pay up for Russell Wilson or Dak Prescott, I won't talk you out of it. I think you're going to have to stack Wilson and Prescott, but I don't spend up at quarterback. I think there is a lot of good mid-range quarterbacks. But if you're running out 100 lineups, I definitely think you have to have Russell Wilson or Dak Prescott stacks in 25 to 30% of your lineups. Especially with the value that I feel like opened up. I don't need to sell you on Russell Wilson. He's been just extremely efficient. I think he's going to continue being extremely efficient. I think his touchdowns are going to regress. I don't think that he's going to be throwing for 5 touchdowns a game. But I don't think he needs to throw to 5 touchdowns a game to hit value. At 7,300, I'm going to get less allocations of Russell Wilson, but again, I'm not going to talk you out of playing Russell Wilson with one of, where is it? Here he is. With one of Metcalf or Lockett. If you want to play Russell Wilson, that's fine. I'm not going to talk you out of doing this. In a game that is projected to shoot out Wilson, I typically like Lockett. I think Tyler Lockett is going to see more consistent targets, and I would much rather target high volume guys than guys with touchdown upside. But Metcalf does have that usage in the red zone, but I would rather have just consistent targets from Tyler Lockett. And then if you were going to Oh, why did I do that? If you're going to play Lockett with Wilson, you could very easily bring this back with CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, a guy that, again, I don't think he's priced up for the amount of volume he is getting. CeeDee Lamb at 5,400 is much, much too cheap considering the amount of targets he's been getting. 6 in week 1, 9 in week 2. If he keeps seeing this value, I'm going to keep plugging in CeeDee Lamb, especially sub 6. And if you want to play Dak Prescott, it's simple. Why do I keep doing that? It's simple. At 7,200, just do that. It's a very easy game to stack. If you want to play Cooper, I won't talk you out of playing Cooper. If you want to play Metcalf, I won't talk you out of playing Metcalf. I think you have to have some combination of Prescott with Cooper, Prescott with Lamb, or Wilson with Lockett, Wilson with Metcalf. You're going to have some combination in this game, whether it be Lamb and Lockett, Cooper and Metcalf, some combination. But I don't think you have to play the quarterbacks with them in all your lineups. But that is going to be a game I target a lot. I think a guy that I'm going to come down to, a guy that I'm going to be playing a lot more of, is Kyler Murray at 6,800 going against Detroit. Listen, Detroit is going to be a team I attack a lot. Their secondary has not proven they can stop anybody. And Kyler Murray has the rushing upside, has the good passing upside. You know where the ball is going to go. Kyler Murray at 6,800 going against Detroit, I think is a much better play. And if you want to stack Kyler Murray, you could play him with Hopkins. You could play him with Christian Kirk. Now, who you stack Kyler Murray with is going to be very, very dependent on how you like to play. DeAndre Hopkins is going to see more of the short field targets, which in on the DraftKings format with PPR format, DeAndre Hopkins has the safest floor. He's going to get peppered with the short range targets. DeAndre Hopkins is where I am going to go in most of my Kyler Murray lineups. If you want to take the risk on Christian Kirk at 4,500, if you think he's going to bust one for a big touchdown, you could play Christian Kirk. That's not the route I go. When I play tournaments on DraftKings, my goal is to get the highest volume of targets and touches we can get. And I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to provide the highest amount of touches, the highest amount of catches. I'm sorry, not touches, targets, the highest amount of catches. So I would much rather do this and then bring it back with Hockenson. TJ Hockenson TJ Hawkinson not getting the value I thought I would get with him in these first 2 weeks, but Arizona is very, very poor against the tight end position. Targeting Arizona with the tight end is something I consistently do and something I'm going to consistently keep doing. So if you think that a lot of people are going to be on Murray and Hopkins, which I definitely think they will, and you want to leverage the field, you can play Stafford and Hawkinson. You're going to get leverage against the field. I don't think that Hawkinson is going to do things in the way of his price tag here that's really going to kill your lineup. Another mid-range quarterback that I really like, Cam Newton. We want to pair Newton with Harry. His rushing upside is definitely there, like Murray. So these two guys in the mid-range, two guys that can throw in the ball really well with the rushing upside, you could play either one of them. If you want to come down here to Ben Roethlisberger, Houston, again, defense I'm going to pick on a lot. Ben Roethlisberger has been throwing the ball really, really well. I think you have to get your stacks, Steelers stacks, in this game. You could do this one of two ways. You can do it with Juju Smith-Schuster. If you think he's going to be in that 8 target range, 5 to 8 targets, you can play Juju. But I think if Deontay Johnson is there, I'm going to play Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson, 23 targets in the first 2 weeks, now going up against Houston. Very favorable matchup. I think he could come down with a few touchdowns in this game. So Deontay Washington, if playing, is a very good option. And if you think Eric Ebron is going to get his touches in the red zone, his targets in the red zone, and can come down with a touchdown, Eric Ebron at 4,300, great play. Not the way I'm going to go. I would much rather go with Smith-Schuster or Deontay Johnson, but Ebron, another option if you want to leverage the field. If you want to play James Conner at 6,700, another good play. Usage in the red zone. The targets aren't there for James Conner. Only 6 targets in the first 2 weeks, but I'm willing to kind of look past that. If he could get 20 touches, if he could get around 20 touches, which he did against Denver, and then get 2 to 4 targets, I think he's going to hit value here. So you could play Roethlisberger, you could play Smith-Schuster, Deontay Johnson, really any of those guys. If you want to leverage the field against Derrick Henry, you could play Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill in a good matchup. Pick your poison with Tannehill. With Minnesota, you could play Tannehill with Jonnu Smith. I think that is a fine way to leverage high Derrick Henry ownership. Minnesota's defense hasn't done anything in the way of stopping anybody. So Tannehill to Jonnu Smith could be a positive way to leverage the field against Minnesota if you don't want to play Derrick Henry. But I'm going to go to a game that I think is going to be massively overlooked. And this is, I think a lot of people are going to be on Atlanta, which if you're going to be on Atlanta, that is fine. And this is a guy that I'm not thrilled about playing, and I'm not going to have a lot of allocations of Mitch Trubisky. But Atlanta has shown that they can't pressure the quarterback. And Trubisky has shown in good matchups that he can be a good quarterback. And this is like a hold your breath type leverage play. This is a huge boom or bust leverage play that I think is going to go overlooked. Trubisky is priced down enough for me to take a shot, and I'm going to pair him with two guys. I'm going to pair him with David Montgomery, the lead back for Chicago, who is going to get a majority of the passing work. And I'm going to pair him with Allen Robinson. I mean, 6 targets in the first 2 weeks, 16 attempts on the ground. So he's touching the ball 19 times in week 2 against the Giants, 3 of which are coming from the air. And this Atlanta team just gave up 6 catches against the Seahawks to Chris Carson. And I think David Montgomery at 5,700 is a great value play against an Atlanta team that has not been able to stop anybody in a shootout, been awful against pass-catching running backs, again giving up 6 to Chris Carson. I think Montgomery is going to see somewhere in the realm of 16 touches and 5 targets against this Atlanta defense. If you want a good leverage play, play Trubisky, play Montgomery, play Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson got targeted 18 times in 2 weeks. Another good matchup for Robinson. I think he's one of these mid-range guys that is going to go overlooked. If he could come down with 9 targets and 5 receptions and get into the end zone, he's going to crush value. This game is very stackable, and I'm going to bring it back with Hayden Hurst. I'm going to be on this game. I'm going to be completely off the Calvin Ridley train. I'm going to leverage the field against Calvin Ridley with a huge boom-bust stack with Trubisky, Montgomery, and Robinson. Bring it back with Hayden Hurst. Trubisky in another good matchup, not priced up to the matchup. And I don't think Trubisky's going to kill you at his price tag, but if he has a ceiling game against Atlanta with Montgomery and Robinson are going to be the beneficiaries of that. And this is the route that I'm going to go. This is my boom-bust leverage play that I think can pay high dividends in the end for you. So thank you all for watching. That is my video. If you got value out of it, hit thumbs up. If you didn't get any value out of this, thumbs it down. If you think this video is bad, tell me how I could do better. My YouTube channel is a discussion. It doesn't stop with me. I would love to know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you on the next one.